The Athletic.
Yes, Steve, good afternoon to you. How valuable experience is it for Chuma last night or the game Friday to be matched up against a crafty veteran like Gallinari, some guy who's going to test him to an extreme degree?
It was good. I thought it was a really positive night for Chuma. And I think you could see watching the film, he got more and more comfortable the longer he was on the court. So, again, we have to remember it's been 2 years for him. Uh, you know, Shorter training camp, no optional workouts in September. And, he was able to do a lot of individual workouts, and he played some of the full court when the guys were playing, but he wasn't able to do all of it. And so, in that way, he hasn't had all of the opportunities he would normally have, but he's a quick learner. He's a very bright player, and I think he's making quick strides already.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, you talk about how there's tons of ways for young guys to get better, not just games, but how valuable is it for the young guys to be able to look back at film like that and learn from that aspect of the game?
It's critical because, and again, in a condensed situation, but even in a normal situation, the best players learn from every opportunity that's there, from film, from practice, from walking through. The one thing that's a lot different from our league than college, not because of the coaches, but because of the rules and the older players, it's just the level of execution, and then also the amount of offense and defense that you have to get good at. So guys that can take film like you're talking about and learn have a big advantage.
Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry about that. Josh Robbins.
Steve, what kind of balance would you like to see your rookies, Cole and Chuma, strike in terms of trying as hard as they can, obviously, to make progress as quickly as possible, and yet also being patient, realizing that they don't have a typical lead up to their rookie seasons?
Yeah, my message to them is just, play your game, work with the coaches. Obviously, I'm talking to them regularly. And I think the big thing, because I like to coach this way anyway, and especially with the younger players, we're not going to evaluate every dribble and every shot, and they're going to make mistakes. Like I talked to Chuma for a while today, and one of the things with him, he actually reminds me of Rashard Lewis in this regard, is watching him in practice, he'll do 5 good things and not think about it and make one mistake. And you can tell that, he struggles to get past it. Rashard was the kind of guy that he could score 23, and then when we would go to watch film the next day, he'd say, I know I need to rebound more. My defense wasn't as good. And I think it's a good way to be, but I told him today, sometimes guys like that don't realize just how many good things they do. And, playing going forward, not worrying about mistakes, I think will be part of it for him and determine how quickly, he can get a bigger role.
Josh Cohen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Hey, Coach, I know it's just the preseason, but when you play a team back-to-back like this, does it kind of feel a little bit like a playoff series where you have to make adjustments and kind of go over, strategies from game to game, playing the same opponent back-to-back?
Yeah, we did a little bit. This one's obviously different because, especially in the fourth quarter the other night, the lineups that were out there for both teams. We're going to do some different things tonight defensively, and I think they will too. So that part's different. But in terms of, you're right, like correcting coverages, things that we made mistakes on, things they hurt us on, that was a big part of yesterday and a big part of our meeting at the hotel this morning.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, how are you doing health-wise in availability tonight? I know I saw Terrence was doubtful, and the other 3 or 4 guys were out. I'm assuming Terrence will be out tonight?
Yeah, just the same guys that were available the other night will be available tonight.
Okay, go ahead, Dan.
And then I know that you and Lloyd had talked about potentially some zone out of timeouts, if I remember correctly. Where did you guys settle on that for tonight, and what kind of things will you have going into tonight's game?
Yeah, we're going to play some zone tonight after timeouts, and Lloyd and I spoke again yesterday, and we haven't worked a lot on it, but I want to get it in, and we spent some time on it yesterday in practice, so we're going to try some tonight.
David Steele, Fox Sports Florida.
How you doing, Coach?
Good, good.
How do you plan to divide up the minutes tonight?
We're not going to play everybody tonight, so the other guys that will play, most of them, their minutes will shoot up. We've only got 3 more exhibition games left, so, we're going to take tomorrow off. This is the 5th day in a row that we've gone, so we want to, amp guys up a little bit more and see how they do with a few more minutes.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, how will you begin tonight in terms of the starters?
Yeah, same way. Markel, Evan, Dwayne, AG, and Vooch.
Thank you.
Okay, any final questions? Roy Perry, Orlando Sentinel.
Steve, I think this would be your 4th day that you all have been on this road trip. I'm just wondering how things have gone in terms of the protocol, how players are feeling with all of that, and just sort of your sense of how that's going so far.
I think so far, Roy, to be honest, they're pretty comfortable. I mean, I think the experience of this is different, obviously, but I think the experience of being in the bubble helps because there, you get into the routine of having to test in the morning, of making sure you do your health app, before you leave your room, things that they're asking us to do now again. So, we've been through that. One thing that is nice, to be honest, I mean, I heard a couple of guys talking about it today is, instead of playing Friday night and landing in some city at, 2:30 in the morning, you're able to come back to the hotel and stay in the same place. So I think definitely in the times when this happens, the wear and tear on everybody's bodies won't be as much, and that'll be the one positive. But I think so far it seems like everything's gone fine.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much, Coach.